Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome to qualifying at Monza in the Super Formula Lights. Now I don't usually show you my qualifying lap, but this time around it's decisive because I make a big mistake coming out of Ascari, and that is going to mean I start this race in P23 of 25. That's going to give me a huge challenge to try and work my way back through the pack. And of course, we're at Monza, so there's going to be big danger on lap 1. And we're underway already, and the driver up ahead of us doesn't get away from the line. So I had to take avoiding action straight away. I do have, though, plenty of space up ahead of me, and I'm going to take it nice and easy into the first chicane for the first time here. I'm anticipating there's going to be carnage, but it looks like everybody's being sensible. But no, there has been a huge pile-up on the inside. I'm able to take the outside line, and it looks as if I've gotten away with it. I'm going to pass another driver there on my left-hand side who's missing a rear wing, and I'm going to have gained a huge number of places straight away. So what on earth happened there? Well, we're following Cyril Frebi in the blue livery in the middle of our screens here as he takes to the chicane, and he comes together with Juan Manuel Lopez there as they're both looking for the same piece of tarmac, and the carnage behind is enormous. Check out Lopez on the outside. He's got plenty of room to break into, but he doesn't take account of the driver on his inside. And the reality is, for drivers behind, they just didn't have time to react. We're on board here with Esmeraldas, and you can see he's got no room. He can't move to the outside, and that was the same for lots of drivers behind as well. And you can just see 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers all caught up in the same incident, and I was able to profit and get myself up into P11 by the time we're on to the second lap. So already then, my poor qualifying has been erased. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm fighting for the top 10 as we come into Lesmo 1, and I've got a decent gap behind me now, and I'm not too far away from another pack of drivers up ahead. I do actually have pretty decent underlying speed here. The top 2 drivers in this race, they're going to be in a fight for P1 for the rest of the session. We're not going to get near them, but I could be fighting deep into the top 10 here, providing I can hook some consistent laps together. Somebody who hasn't managed to is Hoyos. He's off to the left-hand side there, and he will be out of this race, and that will put me up into P10, and you can see he just gets it wrong, clopping the curb into Ascari, and he pays a very, very big price for it. But as we head on to lap 3, I've closed even further now, up to Tyler North and Alex Blanco, who are in P9 and P8 just up ahead, and you can see there's even more drivers not too far down the road here. So our eyes forward, we're in P10. It could get even better, but first things first, Tyler North is mounting an attack here on Alex Blanco. Will he be able to hold it into the second chicane? Well, he thinks better of it last moment, but he's gotten out of shape on the brakes, and he's really struggling now, Tyler, to keep the car in one piece. He manages to keep it on track, but I've managed to squeeze past him there down the inside, so I'm up into P9, capitalising on that mistake there from Tyler North. He has fallen behind Eric Mulder, and I'm now trying to put the pressure on Blanco up ahead. He's ran wide through the second Lesmo. He will be down on speed all the way down the back straight here. I am gaining in the slipstream. Surely I'm going to be clear and past before we get to Ascari. We go under the bridge, and yes, I get the message from the spotter. We are clear. I'm able to take the corner as usual, and I'm up into P8 here. What a phenomenal opening third to this race, and it wouldn't stop there. We're on to lap 4, and Yu Chao Cheng up ahead is clearly struggling with damage. I have reeled him in over the course of the last lap, and now I am going to be surely able to get past him before we hit Parabolica. Look at the closing speed here, as again we pull to the inside. He's not going to be able to do anything about this. We're going to be up into P7, providing I don't make a mistake here into Parabolica. We just about get momentum as we need it to get onto the start-finish straight, and yes, I am up into P7 as we head onto lap 7, and I'm now closing on Carbon Dews up ahead. He's in P6, the gap around 1.5 seconds. Tiago Balbino is the driver behind in P8. He is keeping me pretty honest, and he's fighting with Alex Blanco as well. So I've only got about a second and a half back to those two drivers too. I can't afford to get complacent at this stage of the race. We come through the parabolica once again onto the start-finish straight. I really do now need to try and eke out some more pace and get onto the rear wing of Jews up ahead. I am setting personal best lap times. That is a good start, but I've got to try and get more tenths of a second down on my PBs if I'm going to get further up into the top 10. We're heavy on the brakes into the first chicane once again, and as we're coming through the second part of the corner, Jews has made a mistake. He's out of contention. He spins it on the exit of the corner, and I will be up into P6. And we're now on to lap 9, and I am beginning to come under pressure now from Balbino behind. The gap up to the top 5 is significant, and it looks as if my battle for the mid part of this race is going to be to hold on to P6. Can I do it? Well, we're going to find out as we head towards Ascari here. You can see the gap on the relative has come right the way down, and it looks as if Balbino is able to carry more speed through Ascari, because as we hit the exit of the corner and we're now looking to maximise speed down this straight, Balbino is closing in, and you'll see that visibly here as we pop the TV camera up in the top right hand corner of the screen. He's not going to be close enough to make a move into Parabolica, but he is going to be so far into my slipstream here, down the long start-finish straight. I am surely going to be under pressure heading into T1. Well, let's find out. I'm not actually going to move to the defensive line. I don't really want to lose more time than I need to here, because we've got Blanco in close pursuit behind as well. And yes, there we go. You can see Balbino down my inside here. Once he's out the toe, he doesn't have that much overspeed, but he's later on the brakes. He's got the inside line, and that is going to be the move done. I'm going to settle in behind him and try and follow him in his slipstream and fight back later in the race. But unfortunately for me, by the time we got round to lap 11, he'd actually dropped me slightly. I'd struggled to clear some back markers. He'd taken advantage of that and had built a bit of a gap. And now I've got Alex Blanco behind me, who will be challenging me for position as well. So once again, we get the TV camera out. You can see it from his on board here. The gap closing as we get into Ascari once more. And again, he's carrying more speed through this section of track than I am. It's going to give him a big boost on exit. He peels to the racing line. I'm going to hold the inside line this time. I am going to look to defend, because this time around I don't want to drop position if I can avoid it. I've already seen myself drop further back down the field. Blanco makes a move around the outside, but he's carried far too much speed in there. Surely all 4 tyres off the racing track. Surely he's going to get some kind of slowdown penalty there. Well, for the time being at least, I'm just going to focus on using the extra speed I've got down the start finish straight here to get onto the racing line and hopefully past him here. Yes, you can see I've got a significant overspeed. He's not going to be able to do too much about it. He tucks back in, but then he makes a misjudgment into the corner. There's contact, and look at that. He gets all out of shape through the mid part of the corner, and I'm able to build the gap. Thankfully, I came away from that without damage. One driver who wasn't so lucky was James Burling, who was running in P5 on lap 13, but would get into a bit of a skirmish with a back marker. You saw Burling there make a mistake on the exit to the first chicane. That's then going to put him behind one of the back markers. He makes contact through the right-hander, and he ends up spinning the car. You'll see it again a little bit more clearly on replay here. A very unfortunate incident for James Burling. They come together. He gets up on the grass. By that point, he is a passenger. So that would put me up into P6, and it would get even better on lap 17. We're now following 4th place man Jim Kimberley. He's going to get it wrong on the exit of the first chicane, as we've seen so many other drivers do as well, and he would fall behind me in the closing stages, which meant that on the final lap I was able to bring home a relatively comfortable P5 after a race that was anything but comfortable. Remember, we started out in P23, so what a result this is. We actually managed to gain safety rating and iRacing and come home in P5. That's probably the most positions I've ever gained in a single race, and yes, we were helped out by that massive pile-up on lap 1, but actually my underlying race speed was pretty good, my racecraft was pretty good, and that allowed me to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers and have some pretty good wheel-to-wheel racing as well. Overall, I really enjoyed this one, and if you're looking for more Super Formula Lights action on iRacing, check out the video on screen now.